Well, thank you all for coming today. Um, as you know, we're here to share some exciting news about air service from the General Wayne A. Downing Peoria International Airport. Um, we'd like to thank Allegiant Airlines for adding 2 new destinations from Peoria. Allegiant has announced this morning that they're going to be initiating service from Sarasota Bradenton International Airport to Peoria and from Denver to Peoria. So that connects Peoria to 2 really good destinations. You know, Peoria and Central Illinois has a long history of supporting service to the west coast of Florida. And so Sarasota just adds 1 more destination to that kind of constellation of cities that we serve down there. And we're sure that Central Illinois people will support that service. And then Peoria also has a long history of supporting service to Denver. And Allegiant is reconnecting the 2 cities that had long been connected. So we're excited about that, and we think that that actually has both leisure and business implications. So we're just very excited about all that. Just to give you some details, the Sarasota flight will start on May 27th, and those will run on Thursdays and Sundays. And Denver will start on May 28th, and those will be flying on Fridays and Mondays. And those are both, you know, for those markets, those are both excellent days to have those flights. With that, I think that's about all the details I have at this time, and I'd be happy to take any questions that anybody has.
What's it like to be adding 2 additional flights here when, you know, I know PIA lost some kind of at the end of the year?
Well, it's really exciting, and I think it's an indication of Allegiant's level of confidence in the Peoria market. We've been running probably about half of our, a little bit less than half of our normal traffic loads due to COVID, and most of the traffic that we have is leisure oriented, and we've seen Allegiant maintaining a full schedule, well, not a full schedule, but maintaining a lot of flights in and out of Peoria. And so because people have been patronizing those flights, destinations, we have 2 airlines going to. So we have 2 airlines going to Chicago. You know, that'll be a couple of flights, you know, 4 flights per week that's going to be added.
What do these 2 destinations provide for travelers out of Peoria that maybe wasn't there before?
Well, speaking to the Florida destination, Sarasota, you know, it's another destination on the west coast of Florida. When you look at a map, it's not that far from St. Pete, but Tampa Bay is right in the middle there. And I was actually at a conference a few years ago where I was standing there talking to the airport managers from Sarasota and St. Pete, and they were talking about what a barrier Tampa Bay is, that people just don't like to drive around that bay. And so this kind of fills in the gap there. And you know, every Florida, you know, you talk to people from the Peoria area, and they're passionate about where they go in Florida, and so this will open it up for the Sarasota Bradenton fans. And what Denver means to us is a Western gateway. It's a city to the west that had both a lot of business travel and a lot of leisure travel, and it connects us back up. And we're really hoping that one does well enough that it gets extended to year round. You know, again, I have not talked to Allegiant about that, but that's what our hope is for it. So, you know, it's just 2 more connections that we can kind of add to our portfolio and really kind of complete our service offerings to help the airport remain competitive.
As of right now, since these are seasonal flights, when will be like the last flights? You said they start in May. When will be like the last ones for the year?
The schedule's published through August, And if you look at what Allegiant has done in other markets, they have a lot of seasonal service that ends at the end of August and doesn't fly in September. So right now that would be my guess, but we've not heard anything definitive on like on an end date. And it, you know, it was pretty impressive for us to see that when they started Nashville service, that was originally supposed to go through like early November, and it went all the way through early January. So Allegiant has shown that they definitely respond to the marketplace, and if people support the service, it will extend longer.
When can people start booking these flights?
I believe they're for sale right now. You can go to Allegiant.com, or it might be AllegiantAir.com, and you can book those today.
What are your goals, hopes for travel to the airport in 2021?
Well, my main goal is to see the airport through to, you know, more normal times. Right now we're in all kinds of extra cleaning activities. I don't know that that's going to go away, but I'm really excited that there's a vaccine available, and I'm really hopeful that everybody gets vaccinated as quickly as possible, and that will kind of start people getting back to normal. I'm looking forward to a resumption of business travel, which I think will happen probably in the second or third quarter of the year. Those are my goals.
I'm getting texted a couple questions. How much, as far as passenger numbers, I guess for maybe the fourth quarter and all like that, and obviously how it compared and with COVID and all like that?
So 2019 was our all-time record with, I can't remember the exact number, but it was well over, you know, 600,000. I wanted to say it was like 600 and, I forget, I don't remember the number. And then in January and February of 2020, we set a record for each month for those 2 months. And then the bottom dropped out. So it dived to April and then started a slow recovery. And we've been running pretty steadily for the last 3, 4, or 5 months at a little less than half of our traffic. And that you can, if I've got a graph that I show to my board every month that shows that number, and it's just kind of bouncing along there at about, you know, 54% down. So it's had a big impact. You know, I think in February we had like 34 flights a day, and we're at what, like 12 to 14 flights a day nowadays. And that's all 100% due to COVID. And so that's what we're looking forward to recovering later on this year as people get vaccinated and feel comfortable about traveling again.
With that, have you, or are you hoping that you'll get federal assistance?
Well, we did get federal assistance back in, I think it was March, April timeframe. Congress passed the CARES Act. We did receive funding under that. It was close to $6.2 million, but you don't get all that at once. You have to identify parts of your budget that you're going to get reimbursed for. So it's kind of like submitting monthly invoices and getting them reimbursed through that grant. And that level of funding was enough to cover us from the start of when we got it, to cover us for about 2.5 years. I've heard something about the second CARES Act has additional money in it, but I've not seen what the allocation was. Or what the strings are that are attached to it, or what the purposes are that you can use it for. So we're still looking for that information.
Does today's announcement kind of help offset Delta, and then going forward to try to attract then other airlines to come back or to come in?
Well, let me start answering that by saying that I don't think Allegiant ever does anything without doing their homework. And so the fact that they have decided to invest in Central Illinois says that, you know, this is a viable airport, it's going to grow, and so I'd kind of answer your question that way. Well, thank you all for coming, and please avail yourself of our themed cookies over there. We didn't have a lot of time to prepare this because we just found out about it. But if you check out the cookies, they're pretty cool. Thank you.